emergency department is the first place that comes to mind for same-day care. Is that always the right choice?
While the ER is the first place we think of, there's often different places you can go depending on the severity. For example, if you believe you're at risk of a permanent disability or are in acute danger, you should call 911 and seek care in the ER immediately. However, if you have a more minor injury or minor issue, you can actually go to different options such as same-day care options like urgent care or fast care.
It's freighter.com/same-day if you want to check that out. And you mentioned, Doctor, virtual care options. Sounds like a very convenient option to be able to receive care from home when you're not feeling well. What can you tell us about virtual visits?
Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin has many virtual options. Basically, a virtual visit is a visit which is a live visit with the primary care provider where you log on using the MyChart app and you're able to talk to your provider one-on-one. They're able to ask you the exact same questions they could in the office. However, you're able to do it in the comfort of your own home, which can be very convenient if you're not feeling well, don't feel up to the drive to the office itself.
So if someone's interested in scheduling that virtual visit, how can they go about doing so?
The easiest way is go to the Freighter and Medical College of Wisconsin app or MyChart app, where you can actually go and schedule a virtual appointment. That's the same app you can use to look at different test results, request prescription renewals, and view your EHR or electronic health record. You can also send messages to your health team directly through that app.
Great information. Dr. Agarwal, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
When you work with us, you'll know what you're going to get. And most importantly, you'll know exactly what you're going to pay us to list and sell your home. Talk to any Benefit Realty agent and ask about our commission. You will always get the same answer. You may find that others aren't ready to be as straightforward as we are right off the bat. They may try to meet with you first, and from there, you'll probably have to haggle your commission. And if you're lucky, you might be able to get them to reduce their commission to what we charge. But who wants that? Benefit Realty is going to make this easy for you with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, and we even one-up it from there. We cap our commission so that no matter what size property you're selling for the listing side of your sale, your savings will be substantial. And if you're selling a luxury portfolio kind of home, substantial is an understatement. And finally, if you're not happy at any time with the service you're getting, we won't hold you to the term of your contract. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
Protect mom's assets, protect your assets. Call Krause Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
The Bucks preseason is here, and we can't wait for things to get started.
Lillard, step back three, straight on. Front iron, bounces high into the air and goes in. He's got that shooter's roll working.
Our coverage against the LA Lakers starts tonight at 6:30. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 11:01. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Thursday, October 10th. Your top story, cleanup in the aftermath of the storm.
I'm Jessica Ty, suing for school safety.
Sunny and mild today. Beautiful day. High of 73. Inland clear tonight. A chance of seeing the northern lights and a low of 53. Partly cloudy, breezy, and warm on Friday with a high of 80. Rain back in the forecast. There's a chance of it on Saturday. It's 64 and sunny in Milwaukee. At 11:02 from the WTMJ breaking newsroom, search and rescue crews in Florida hard at work today answering hundreds of 911 calls from those needing help following Hurricane Milton. Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Cronister talks about one couple they saved from a flooded home.
I tell you what, this had to get scary. They said they had water coming in up over their knees and highly frightened, and you have someone who struggles here with some medical conditions. I imagine they were quite frightened.
Milton's death toll now at least 6 after the St. Petersburg police blamed 3 deaths of 2 more people on the storm. More than 3 million remain without power.
Sending hurricane support from Wisconsin. Julie Zimmerman is the Wisconsin Regional Chief Operating Officer at the American Red Cross. She tells our partners at WISC TV they'll be anywhere they're needed.
We are helping with everything. I mean, everything from evacuation shelters with Milton to continuing to shelter and reunification efforts with Helene down, like I said, in the Carolinas right now.
Zimmerman is one of more than 60 Wisconsinites headed down south for hurricane support.
In Milwaukee,
the focus at MPS should be on learning, not waiting for officers to arrive on site to handle incidents that we're seeing almost daily.
That's Lauren Gruhl, Associate Counsel with the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. Will is suing Milwaukee Public Schools for failing to provide the required 25 school resource officers as mandated by Act 12. Gruhl breaks down the lawsuit to WTMJ.
They have a duty that's written into law that they need to comply with. So we're asking the court for a writ of mandamus to say this is part of the law. You have to do what you're required to do by law.
Milwaukee police received over 3,000 calls from Milwaukee Public Schools during last school year.
A school board member gets her district investigated. Melissa Niffenegger is a homeschool parent and school board member in the Unified School District of De Pere. She filed a complaint with the State Department of Public Instruction for a practice called 3Qing. That's when kids learn to read words based on meaning, visual signs, and syntax. The state actually banned the practice this year. Niffenegger tells our partners at NBC 26 TV she's not convinced.
The reason why I'm concerned is because there's some language and graphs and things that I've been given that I'm concerned that they may not have taken it fully out.
The superintendent is adamant that the curriculum does not include 3Qing.
Sexual misconduct allegations against an elementary school staffer. The Kenosha County Sheriff's Office investigating allegations against a 33-year-old female staffer at Riverview Elementary School in Silver Lake. The misconduct alleges that both a current and former student were involved, but that none of the incidents happened during school hours or on school property. The staffer, currently being held in the Kenosha County Jail, is awaiting charges. The school district is cooperating with the investigation. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. A mixed bag here today, with the Dow currently lagging 80 points at 42,434. NASDAQ is up about 25 points at 18,315. S&P 500 off just a bit today, down about 3 points at 5789. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
The dad and son duo coming to take on the Bucks tonight. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sunny and limited WTMJ News Time is 11:06.
Happy fall! WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattress. Built Right's 96th anniversary mattress celebration on now. Their one location saves you time and money, and they make it easy to shop and easy to buy. Built Right beats any big box, national, or local chain store, department store, employee-free store, online retailer, or warehouse club because they have the guaranteed lowest prices. Built Right also has the best value, selection, service, and experienced team in Wisconsin. More than 60 models and 500 mattresses in stock. Choose from the best mattress brands: Made in the USA, Heirloom, Gold Bond, Therapeutic, Restonic, and Schiffman. Built Right specializes in hard-to-find, flippable, two-sided, and heavy-duty mattresses. They can hold up to 600 pounds. Plus, Built Right offers free delivery and removal on mattress purchases of $7.99 or more. Built Right always saves you money. Shop Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, they're closed to be with family. Tell them Vinny sent you to Built Right at 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Any exterior remodeling company can give you a lot of good reasons to get a new roof, siding, windows and doors, or masonry work. Aesthetic appeal alone or just resale value help it all make sense. But I'm compelled to continue to tell you what sets Semper Fi apart from the rest. What you're going to get from Semper Fi is a reputation that is backed by an undeniable stack of proof that we are who we say we are. Our character is guided by a level of trust and accountability which not only holds our teams together, but also keeps our reputation intact. And ultimately, that means leaving you satisfied. So when you're about to make that big investment in your home, isn't that what you want? This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi!
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Packers wide receiver Christian Watson, a limited participant at practice, hopeful to play Sunday after missing last weekend's game with an ankle injury.
I'm going to keep on pushing it every single day if I feel like I can, take another step. And it's, my goal every week is to play.
Packers and Cardinals kick off Sunday at noon from Lambeau Field. LeBron and the Lakers in Milwaukee tonight to face the Bucks in a preseason game. You can hear it on WTMJ with tip-off scheduled for 7 o'clock. And in baseball, the Mets, of course, advance to the NLCS where they'll take on the winner of the Padres-Dodgers series. That series tied at 2 games apiece.
Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. No big crashes to let you know about, which is great news, but we seem to have a handful of disabled vehicles out in the system. I'm not going to tell you about all of them because most of them are not causing any issues, but there is one I want to let you know about. It's a disabled vehicle in Milwaukee County. This one is on the exit to Hampton Avenue from 4145 South. Once again, the exit to Hampton Avenue from 4145 South. And the only reason I tell you about this one is because there happens to be slowdowns in the area. It doesn't seem like it should be because of this. It is a semi. It's off on the exit. So I don't know if people are just slowing down to look at it or what exactly is happening, but there is a slowdown. So heads up if you're headed that way.
Beautiful day today. Great fall conditions. A high of 73 degrees. Very comfortable. Mainly clear tonight. It'll give you a chance to see the northern lights. A low of 53. Partly cloudy. Breezy on Friday. Warmer and a high of 80. Chance of rain enters the forecast Saturday evening. High of just 62 on Saturday. Chance of showers on Sunday. Cool and breezy and a high of 58. 64 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Good you in your Bucks gear today, right?
I was debating. I was like, do I start with this? Because it's a little casual for me, but we can definitely do that here. Especially we're surrounded by ESPN and all the sports people.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, it's a preseason game, so should I wait? But I'm going all in.
You have been here since February, right? So officially sort of day one of the show launched in February. Has there ever been a day where I've not been casual coming to work?
I know, but that's your thing. And, I've kind of had to like ease into it.
If there's a quarter zip or a polo, I'm putting it on.
I've got heels on, though.
Oh,
I got jeans and my buck zip up. It's a black one, too. I feel like black always makes it look a little more... less casual,
a little more polished, yeah.
Less casual,
all
more
right.
polished.
I get it, yeah. Well, the Bucks are back home tonight, and it is one of the big stories that we're following here today.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, the devastating aftermath of Hurricane Milton. The storm made landfall last night as a Category 3 near Siesta Key, Florida. It's now out over the Atlantic Ocean. More than 3 million people in Florida are without power right now. We know of at least 9 deaths, so that number continues to go up. It was 4 earlier this morning, then it was 6. Now we're seeing 9. In this case, many of them are actually connected to the tornado outbreak before the storm made landfall. That was so scary, seeing some of that video come in. Wow. Here's Florida Governor Ron DeSantis giving an update today.
The storm did bring much destruction and damage. Tornadoes ravaged parts of the east coast of the state. Flooding occurred on the west and east coast, and strong winds lashed the state, especially in Pinellas, Hillsborough, Manatee, and Sarasota counties.
Nearly 18 inches of rain fell in St. Petersburg, coupled with wind gusts of nearly 100 miles per hour. In Tampa, the roof to Tropicana Field, where the Rays play baseball, was just shredded.
This was incredible. So I understand the storm maybe didn't hit as dead on in Tampa as one projected. But then you see the roof of a baseball stadium just in pieces, and you realize just how damaging it was. I guess the roof was supposed to sustain winds of 115 miles an hour, and it exceeded that at points yesterday. I was amazed at the video I saw.
Well, and the thing is, yes, it does seem like waking up this morning that certainly many areas dodged a bullet. It's not the worst as we thought it was going to be, but it's still bad.
Oh, goodness, yes. Yeah, long cleanup ahead. Thankfully, it seems like the direct path was not as vicious as one thought. Well, the Bucks are back on the floor tonight at home for the first time since April 30th. So LeBron and the Lakers are in town. LeBron gets to bring his son, Bronny, because they're on the same team. That's one of the coolest stories in the NBA. You don't often get that. You get it in baseball once in a while, but a father-son duo.
So rare.
Playing for the same team at the same time. Unbelievable. I don't know if Bronny's going to stick, but nonetheless, he gets to play with Dad for a little bit. But LeBron's not happy about coming to Milwaukee. A post on his X feed reads, "Can someone please explain to me why we're getting on a plane and heading to Milwaukee for one preseason game?" So I had to do a little digging on this. The Lakers have 6 preseason games, all on the road, because of construction at their arena. 4 of those games are played in California, 1 in Phoenix. So definitely a trip to Milwaukee seems like an outlier here. It's like, hey, we're not getting any games at home, but you're going to send us to Milwaukee? This has less to do with Milwaukee or the Bucks or Giannis or anything like that, and more to do with their situation of not being able to play a home game throughout the course of the preseason and having to take a 1,700-mile flight.
Well, I saw this, and I was like, geez, here we go, because Milwaukee is going all in on, here's the reason why you're coming, and some, I think Good City Brewing, they put up their beer. They're like, here's why. I mean, so many companies were just having a lot of fun with it, and a lot of fans were having fun with it, too. But this was one of the first responses, and it just made me laugh. It says, "Hey, LeBron, it's Greg." Not our Greg, a different Greg. The reason for this is because if you were to drive there, it would take more than 29 hours. So I'm guessing your coaches thought it would be more efficient to fly. Hope this helps. Yeah. It's like from Greg 16676935420. But it's been seen by like 2 million people, has been retweeted nearly 3 million times. It's just wild.
It's
people
comical.
People are having a good time.
Well, the Bucks are back on the home floor tonight. It's been a minute, and our coverage tonight gets underway at 7 o'clock. You can hear preseason basketball tonight.
Number 3, inflation slows again. The latest consumer price index is out today. It shows U.S. inflation at its lowest point in 3 years. ABC's Andy Field has the details from Washington.
The consumer price index is up just 0.2%, the same increase for August and July, which is good news for consumers hoping to see inflation continue to slow. Over the last year, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports the cost of all items rose about 2.4%, far less than previous year price increases. The biggest September price jumps were 0.4% for food. Energy prices fell nearly 2%.
This is the last CPI report before the election, and think about it, every bit of economic news being watched very closely right now. The election, just 26 days away.
We are getting there, no doubt about that. It's 11:15 on WTMJ. We're going to go live to Tampa with ABC's Jim Ryan coming up on the other side. He's been there for about 40 hours or so. The aftermath of Hurricane Milton and the cleanup. We'll detail it with Jim after this.
Fall is on its way, which means you need to make sure your house is up to snuff before the cold hits. WTMJ's Debbie Loziga here for the WTMJ Home Improvement Showcase. Join us every week as we highlight services provided by our great partners, including Comfort Awnings and Bruce's team with Realty Executives Integrity. And they'll get you and your home ready for whatever season Wisconsin holds. It's the WTMJ Fall Home Improvement Showcase. Find out more at WTMJ.com.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents and standing up for victims to take the burden off your shoulders. It's WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Gruber Law Offices. You know the name, but do you know what they can do for you? As one of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest, they let you focus on healing while they focus on the legal aspect. So it's a simple process here. If you've been injured in an accident, you make a call to Gruber or visit them online at gruber-law.com. Phone number is 414-276-6666. Locally known and nationally recognized, they make a difference in our community. They'll make a difference for you. No fee, no cost to call Gruber, no cost to consult or retain their firm. Never a fee until they win your case. It's what they do. It's what they've been doing for 40 years. It's Gruber Law Offices.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You want to know the price of a new roof on your home today? Well, it's easy. Just go to TriCountyContracting.wi.com, click on the Instant Roof Quote button, put in your address and email, click the Show My Roof Price, and there you go. Zero wait time. There's your quote. You shop online for everything else. Who says you can't shop online for a new roof? Tri-County Contracting at WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Nice fall day today with a high of 73 degrees. Beautiful conditions. Chilly again tonight and a low of 49, up to 80 tomorrow. Next chance of rain looks like Saturday. 62-year high on Saturday as a cold front moves in. Chance for rain later in the evening. As for the Northern Lights, had a note on the text line asking when the best time might be to check out the Northern Lights tonight. It's pretty common that between 10 and 2 p.m., 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., I should say, between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., darkest times of the night, usually the best time to see the Northern Lights. Of course, you want to be away from that, street light and all that kind of stuff. The darker the area you're in, the better the opportunity.
Got to make sure it's dark. Be in a dark spot.
Super dark. Downtown, good luck.
Door County is a great spot for that.
Yeah, absolutely. 11:19 at WTMJ. Well, Hurricane Milton hammered into the Gulf Coast of Florida late last night. It's now over the Atlantic, and the cleanup begins in really the entire state of Florida, right through that middle swath. ABC's Jim Ryan is in Tampa with the latest. Jim, what did you experience last night, and what are you now seeing today after the storm has passed?
Well, last night, it was a dramatic storm here. The direct hit, the landfall did not happen here at Tampa. It happened down in Sarasota County, but certainly it was enough here to make the buildings sway in downtown Tampa. 93-mile-an-hour winds, extreme rain. This city, in fact, set a record. Normally it gets about 11 inches of rain in a month. It got 11 inches of rain yesterday. So, yeah, heavy rain, lots of wind, and yeah, you're right, Greg, about the extent of the damage, but also the variety of damage. Storm surge damage in Sarasota County. You have the wind damage that came here. There's this debris blown around here, but also tornado damage 150 miles away. In fact, the 4 known fatalities from this storm are from tornadoes.
And Jim, Milton did not kick up as much storm surge as we were expecting, so maybe not the worst case scenario, but this is no joke. It's still a bad situation. I'm wondering as far as power right now. I know we have Wisconsin utility workers down there helping in Florida. What is the power situation like for people?
Well, yes, 3.3 million people, homes and businesses, not people, but homes and businesses. It could be an apartment building, could be someone's backyard shed, but the 3.3 million customers without electricity right now. So, yeah, they can use every bit of help they can get from Wisconsin, from all around the country. And a lot of those folks, Jessica, were being staged and were sleeping on cots inside the stadium here in Tampa, right?
Yeah, St. Petersburg, Tropicana Field, that got messed up too.
The roof is gone.
Roof got pulled off. It's kind of a big fabric roof. It's actually it's Teflon coated in fiberglass, and so once the wind got under that, these extreme winds, it just tore the roof right off. Luckily, nobody was hurt inside, but it illustrates the sort of damage that can be done in this kind of a storm.
So what happens now, right? Is it a sunny day in the general area? Are there chainsaws up, cleanup crews, down power lines? What are you seeing?
Yes, and yes. It is sunny. Chainsaws are out. Crews are out. Power is being restored. All of that is happening now at one time. The weather is beautiful today, and I've seen that time and time again after a hurricane. The day after is usually kind of nice. It's calm. It's cool. It's dry. It's not humid, and it's a perfect opportunity for people to get back in their neighborhoods and start cleaning up.
Are there still water rescues happening in some parts of Florida, though?
There are, yeah. Some of the along the rivers that are still rising up, the places that collect runoff from the rain that happens elsewhere, and those rivers are still rising and creating the possibility of flooding. And yes, there are apparently still some high water rescues going on not too far from where I am in Hillsborough County.
Jim, we know that you were on more of the Gulf Coast, but this storm went right through Orlando and other pretty major areas, much more inland. What was the storm devastation like in those parts? We know there was a tornado outbreak before the storm even hit landfall.
Yeah, a couple of hours before, we had dozens of tornadoes that were being spun off on the other side of the state. So while the storm was preparing to make landfall here on the Gulf side, tornadoes were happening over in Port St. Lucie, where 4 people were killed from those tornadoes. So that's what I'm talking about here, the variety of damage: storm surge damage, wind damage. tornado damage.
You're right, the variety. And last night I was watching some of the skyscrapers so close to some of these high rises. I thought, oh my goodness, that seems like a worst case scenario. Some of the skyscrapers did end up coming down. Is that correct?
Well, not skyscrapers, but the cranes.
Yes, the cranes.
The construction cranes came down. And there was one that came crashing down not too far from the Tampa newspaper office. Luckily, nobody was inside there. But, that was one of the many hazards created by the extreme winds.
Jeez.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Glad you're safe, Jim. We appreciate your time this week. We know it's a very busy day for you, too.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Jim.
See ya.
Yep, you bet. We'll check in with Jim again sometime later on. Coming up next, Winkermania. What is it and how can you participate? We'll explain after this.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment and Capital Heating and Cooling. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
I suppose if you live downtown, you can't see the Northern Lights. A good idea, good option. Maybe go into Flanders Home Entertainment, get that 100-inch screen TV. You could probably dial up the Northern Lights on your screen, make it all beautiful, and just sit in the comfort of your own home and watch it without having to worry about being downtown or leaving your home at all. Right? It's a good idea.
I thought you meant like wallpaper on your computer.
Well, you could do that too. Exactly. Just bring it up. There's got to be something on YouTube. But if you don't have a great, brilliant TV with a fantastic resolution from Flanders, it might not look the same. Connect with Flanders if you're looking for a technology upgrade. Really at any level. With speakers, TVs, you name it. It's Flanders. Locally known for years. They do it the right way. The installation experts at Flanders are second to none. Their products are fantastic. They got the entry-level stuff, and they got the big fancy stuff too. Speakers, you name it. Great stuff from Sonos, whole house systems, whatever you're looking for to upgrade your system at home, connect with Flanders. Locally owned, quality, service, the best brands, all right there. Guaranteed best prices as well. All top priorities, as a matter of fact. Beautiful showroom awaits you in West Dallas, in Grafton, and at Flanders.com. It's Flanders. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
Between market volatility, inflation, global unrest, and the presidential election, there's a lot going on. Take control with help from Annex Wealth Management. Have a plan built that matches up with your investment and retirement goals. Annex does it as a fee-only fiduciary with unbiased advice. Annex offers financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com, click the Get Started button. It's time to put things in order. Know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. annexwealth.com.
Greg, it just gets the, Thursday edition? We get the Thursday already? Well done.
Thursday.
Nicely done.
Have you ever listened to the song and thought they say, Hakuna Matata?
I have not. I have not. A very appropriate bump. We were preparing for the show. You had stepped out for a moment, and Gina was working, and I was working. I said, I'm just going to put on some Smashing Pumpkins right now. So I did. I started playing a Smashing Pumpkins playlist, and there we go. Now Gina has put it in our bump rotation. I like Smashing Pumpkins.
Hakuna Matata.
He became Public Enemy 1 for Brewers fans during the Wild Card series. Yeah, Jesse Winker, right? The former Brewer. Not exactly endearing himself to Brewers fans during that series in Milwaukee. Remember him jawing with Willie Adames when he was rounding second base. This was after a triple in Game 1.
That was surprising that he was saying some stuff, but, like I say, I guess, that's part of his personality.
Yeah, he then scored insurance run in Game 3. He got up and spiked his helmet on the ground. He shattered his helmet. The ear flaps flying everywhere, and people are booing like crazy.
The only thing I know about this guy is from this year. I honestly, I don't remember him from last year.
Precisely, and that's part of the issue with Jesse Winker. He was a Brewer last year, but following the series in Milwaukee, Last week, Winker, when asked by the New York Post about the relentless booing from Brewers fans, said, quote, "As far as Milwaukee goes, I will hate them forever."
Jeez.
As a member of the Brewers in 2023, this was a common occurrence for Winker.
3-2 pitch to Winker. Ground ball towards second. Cronenworth has it on a couple of hops throws to first, and Winker is retired.
Yeah, a rally ender. That's what Jesse Winker was. He hit 199 for the Brewers last year, and for some reason, Greg Counsell put him on the playoff roster. So in response to Winker's public hatred now for Milwaukee, a couple of businesses are capitalizing on a marketing plan.
Yeah,
Have you seen this?
This is good. I like this. It made me laugh, even not knowing that much about the guy, but Broken Bat Brewing Company, $1.99 pints in honor of Winkler.
All day long today.
Winker.
Yeah.
I wanted to
exactly. He's forgettable. So $1.99 pints, and the Lakeshore Chinooks are offering a ticket deal in honor of Winker's career batting average with the Brewers of $1.99. The Chinooks are offering the Jesse Winker special, $1.99 general admission vouchers to any game Monday through Wednesday for a home game for the Chinooks in the month of June. How about that?
Doesn't the name Jesse Winker sound like a character in a television show that might have been a bully?
Yeah, you just
like something, like maybe he was kind of the cool guy, but he was kind of a butt.
Yes, yeah, and I would agree. And during his time in Milwaukee, you could accurately characterize him as a butt. Right? He was not well liked in the clubhouse. I promise you that. Unfortunately, his Mets are continuing on to the NLCS. They beat the Phillies last night. Yeah, I know. I remember. Winker Mania. It's 11:29.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Yet another strong storm rolled through Oak Creek in South Milwaukee, causing actual damage at my house. Thankfully, I knew exactly what to do. I called my friends Jeff and Jake at Loyal Family Renovations, and Jeff came by to assess the damage. If your home has suffered storm damage, don't leave it up to the out-of-towners. Loyal Family is family-owned, and the loyalty belongs to their customers. Contact them today for a free damage inspection, and they'll help make your home remodeling dreams a reality. LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Hey, Sweetest Day is almost here. Don't forget your sweetheart. WTMJ's John Merck here. I highly recommend taking your love to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill to witness the spectacular fall colors of the Kettle Moraine Forest. It's romantic. It's great food. And when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, even on Sweetest Day. Your favorite steak, ribs, salmon, a big fresh salad, the steak and lobster, any dinner on the menu. You buy one dinner, you get one free. Desserts and ice cream drinks. That's great on Sweetest Day. Also, buy one, get one free. Celebrate with a hand-muddled old-fashioned. 20 bourbons to choose from, over 100 wines, ice-cold beer, 8 elegant dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds is a Top Choice Award winner for most romantic restaurant, and your second dinner is free. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill, the breathtaking fall colors surrounding the Fox and Hounds is a Wisconsin must-see. Reserve your Sweetest Day table today. They fill quickly with that free dinner. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
I'm Greg Natzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, October 10th. Your top story, sending hurricane support from Wisconsin.
I'm Jessica Ty. A judge investigated for misconduct.
Sunny and mild today, beautiful day. High of 73 inland, clear tonight with a chance of seeing the northern lights late, somewhere between 10 and 2 a.m. A low of 53, partly cloudy, breezy and warm on Friday with a high of 80. 64 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:32 from the WTMJ breaking newsroom, sending hurricane support from Wisconsin. Julie Zimmerman is the Wisconsin Regional Chief Operating Officer of the American Red Cross. She tells our partners at WISC TV they'll be anywhere necessary.
We are helping with everything. I mean, everything from evacuation shelters with Milton to continuing to shelter and reunification efforts with Helene down, like I said, in the Carolinas right now.
Zimmerman, one of over 60 Wisconsinites heading down south for hurricane support.
One person is dead and another seriously hurt after a double shooting on Milwaukee's northwest side. The incident started around 10:30 last night near 68th and Hampton. Milwaukee police tell us a 25-year-old died at the hospital from multiple gunshot wounds. Another 25-year-old was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The cause of the shooting is under investigation.
The Wisconsin Judicial Commission files a complaint against a Dane County judge for misconduct. The commission says that Judge Ellen Burtz willfully violated Wisconsin Supreme Court rules by arguing directly with one defendant during a court proceeding and setting out to arrest another who failed to show up for a court hearing. The commission is asking the State Court of Appeals to hear the complaint against Burtz and recommend discipline under state law that could include being removed from the bench.
The State Department of Public Instruction is investigating the Unified School District of De Pere for a practice called 3Qing. That's when kids read words using meaning, visual signs, and syntax. The state banned the practice this year. Superintendent Chris Thompson expresses his frustration at the allegations to our partner at NBC 26 TV.
It's really something that you would expect to be coming from a parent, however, not something that would be coming from a community member. It would be a parent, somebody that has a concern with the instruction being provided to their child.
A school board member raised the issue with the state. DPI did not give a timeline for its decision.
And it's time to get that flu shot. Hashim Zabak is the pharmacist and owner of Hyatt Pharmacy in Milwaukee. He says the biggest barrier to getting vaccinated is access.
Pharmacists in the state of Wisconsin are the most accessible healthcare providers. You can come to us 7 days a week. Many of the locations, you can actually walk into the pharmacy without an appointment.
Only 37% of people in Milwaukee County got the flu shot last year. You can get the flu shot and COVID shots at the same time.
Sports, traffic, and weather next. Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:34.
We found that the high road is worth the climb, and it's less crowded. At Semperfi, everything we do is done to the best of our ability. There are no shortcuts. It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned. It is in our nature to keep our values intact so that when we leave your job, you'll be right there to shake our hand with satisfaction. We've installed massive flat roofs and shingled huge churches, schools, and all kinds of homes from modest to extravagant, all with integrity and pride in our work. And we're going to keep doing it for generations to come. That's what always faithful means to us. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semperfi.
You know, sometimes when you hear a radio ad like this one, you think, yeah, maybe I should look into this. But you never do. Hi, Andy Haver here, owner of Progress Manufacturing in West Bend. Like many of you, I've heard radio ads for QC Kinetics. So I finally went to check them out because I've had chronic bursitis in my elbow for many years. I got cortisone shots, but those quickly stopped working. My doctor told me that the only solution for my bursitis was surgery. After my initial free consultation, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics designed a treatment plan specific for me. I'm really happy I went because QC Kinetics helped me be pain-free with no drugs, surgery, or downtime, and their entire staff was friendly and made me feel comfortable. My only regret is that I didn't call them sooner. Lasting joint pain is just a phone call away. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474, with locations in Mequon and Greenfield.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Bucks basketball on the air tonight. Preseason game number 2 for the Bucks. They'll take on LeBron and the Lakers. Our coverage gets underway at 7 o'clock on WTMJ. Packers wide receiver Christian Watson limited at practice. He's hopeful to play on Sunday against the Cardinals. Watson missed last week against the Rams due to an ankle injury. And the Mets advanced to the NLCS with a win over the Phillies. They await the winner of the other NLDS series between the Padres and Dodgers.
Let's go ahead right now and take you out to the roads, get you an update there in case you're headed out. This is your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Report. We're looking pretty good right now. No big crashes to let you know about. Some of the disabled vehicles that were out in the system have since cleared since we started the show. We do have 2 out there, though, still. 4143 894 west at the ramp from Loomis. Right shoulder is blocked there due to a car that's broken down. Also, if we travel south just a little bit, 4194 north at Wisconsin 20. Left shoulder is blocked there due to a car that's broken down.
Beautiful day today. High of 73 degrees. Chilly tonight and a low in the 40s, especially inland. It'll be cool. Tomorrow looks great. Breezy conditions, sunny and a high of 80. 64 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:38.
I came across the bridge this morning at 4:30 and started driving around, and I was very happy.
That is Police Chief of Bradenton Beach, John Cosby, assessing the damage from Hurricane Milton in that specific area of Florida, where 3 million now in the state remain without power. 80,000 of those are in Orlando following Hurricane Milton. Orlando very much inland, not exactly coastal, as it made Gulf Coast. Hurricane Milton did about 11 o'clock last night, a little before that, as a matter of fact. You know, I've seen a lot of stories, Jessica, about how they're breathing a sigh of relief given what this could have been as a Category 5 hurricane at one point, at 2 points, actually. But we're seeing some of the damage here, and it's still quite significant. Don't let it take away from what actually did happen. Scoreboards near football stadiums at high schools bent over and shattered, laying on the track. You've got widespread flooding. The roof where the Tampa Bay Rays play baseball just absolutely shredded. You've got giant sinkholes, boats lifted out of the water, now in lawns, in the yard. So, I mean, it's still incredible damage, but the death toll much less. It does appear as if many in that area, the majority of residents in the evacuation zone, heeded the warning and got out.
Yeah, and thank goodness. It's almost like a lot of people learned from Hurricane Helene. It's terrible that we had to have 2 hurricanes happen so close like this in an area where people were impacted not once but twice in some cases. But a lot of people did see the damage that Helene caused and say, okay, you know what, we're not staying to see what happens here. But yeah, I mean, you talk about some of these homes, some of the pictures and the video that I'm seeing, you've got homes that are totally destroyed. Many of them in some cases from the tornadoes that came through before Milton actually made landfall, which that was just wild to see these tornadoes just whipping across. But I'm looking at one picture right now from Wellington, Florida, and not only, you know, is the roof taken off of this one home, basically trees are all across the driveway, but then you have a car that was lifted up and just kind of thrown towards the house on its side. And don't forget, too, water rescues. There are water rescues happening right now still. You've got so many people working on restoring power because you have millions of people without power in Florida right now. Some of those people helping restore the power are from right here in southeastern Wisconsin, too. We Energy sent crews down yesterday.
Which is amazing. So there is support really nationwide, but especially here from Wisconsin going down to that area. And if you try and wrap your mind around the idea of nearly 18 inches of rain in a 24-hour period, it's mind-boggling. I mean, that is a month's worth of rain in a day in that portion of Florida. So some of the water rescues that you're speaking of are happening where roads exist, right? Not necessarily in the Gulf. So it's remarkable the level of damage that Helene caused and now Milton. Thankfully, many were able to escape and evacuate. And you know, officials are saying we should be able to get things back to normal here, relatively speaking, in shorter order than following Helene. So debris remains an issue. Cleanup remains extensive. A lot of damage, mostly wind damage, more so than storm surge damage, which, you know, can take away a house. But they're nowhere near out of the weeds yet in terms of the cleanup. Like it's only just beginning and continuing from a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, this is just day one. But as you mentioned, there are some people breathing a sigh of relief. I know my family, I kind of shared the story yesterday because they went through Hurricane Ian, my family, snowbirds, so down in the Fort Myers, Bonita Springs area. And they were incredibly worried because everybody kind of felt like we just got back. You know, we just fixed the house.
Yeah.
Lost 2 cars in Ian. Lost, you know, the pool was a disaster. The carpet, we didn't lose the whole house, so we felt very lucky about that. But you finally feel like you're back to where you should be, and then this happened. So I know my family was breathing a sigh of relief that there's flooding in the area, but things are okay. And I know many other families are doing that too, but then you think about these families, not only that have lost their homes, but we now know that the death toll is up to at least 9. And as we've seen time and time again, that death toll is likely to go up even more from here.
Yeah, 4 of which were from the tornadoes that struck in St. Lucie area before the hurricane even hit late last night.
And then you got people like Lieutenant Dan. Did you see this guy who was out in the water? He was determined not to leave. He was going to stay in his boat. Everybody was wondering what was going to happen to this guy, Dan. And people were enthralled with it, especially on social media. Everybody wanted updates, and a lot of the TV crews were getting updates. But last night, there was a moment where I was mad about it because I thought, this guy, so many resources are going to what this one man is doing because he's being dumb and putting his life in danger. And then ultimately, you could argue that they didn't have to go and check on him, which is true, but putting other lives in danger, too. I guess Lieutenant Dan is okay. Now there's some talk out there that he might be trying to scam people because there was a GoFundMe set up for this guy. So I don't know. It's just so many storylines throughout this, that's for sure.
It's 11:43 on WTMJ, our weekly check with Dr. Ben Weston. Weekly wellness check after this from the Medical College of Wisconsin.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Crouse Estate Planning and Elder Law Center. Greg Matzik here. I want to tell you about the experts. Dan has helped build this from the ground up, protecting your family's legacy since 1999. An Army veteran, Dan Crouse, has a passion for will generation and estate planning. He's helped his family members and enjoyed it so much he started to build a business. He started that back in 1999. Protecting what you've built, protecting what you've earned. It's Crouse Estate Planning and Elder Law Center with a brand new office open in Brookfield. If it's about that time for you to start thinking ahead to estate planning or generating a will, maybe you're just not sure about the process and how complicated it is, Dan and his team can help you through the process, start to finish. They've got over 20 years experience, 25 to be exact. Check out estateplanningpeople.com. And if you have specific questions about Medicare, you can also visit savemomsassets.com. Get answers to your specific questions by connecting with the experts. It's Crouse Estate Planning and Elder Law Center.
Steinhafels is celebrating its 90th anniversary with its Friends and Family Sale. Take up to $300 off a qualified purchase or take advantage of Steinhafels' 36-month 0% financing and get a $200 MasterCard rewards card. Only at Steinhafels.
It's a bully that will not let up until you do something about it. And the worst part is that the bullying happens when you're at your most vulnerable. You might as well have your hands tied behind your back while that bully puts one hand over your mouth and pinches your nose with the other. He'll let up, let you catch your breath, and then he'll do it again. Sleep apnea is a bully. Not long ago, we heard our friend John tell you about how his bully was stopping his breathing in his sleep over 145 times an hour. Think about what that can do to your body's organs. It's no wonder that the snowball effects of long-term obstructive sleep apnea are heart disease, stroke, even depression and anxiety. But this problem is solvable, and we have solutions, and you'll be surprised at how simple they are.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. It's time to put that bully in his place. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
Check this out. There's free pizza today at the Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Mind Chef pizza. Best cheese, best crust. I love the pepperoni. Every Thursday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza for free. Buy 2 pizzas, get 2 free. Buy 10, get 10 free pizzas, any size or quantity. Hey, coaches, bring in your football, soccer, cross-country, volleyball, swim team. Beef up on the free pizza. Your players will also love the Mind Chef's world-class game room. It's super affordable team bonding. Bring in pizza today for your loyal employees and your clients. They'll appreciate you, and they'll love that pizza. And your second one's free. Business owners, managers, order now, pick up your pizza shortly, or dine in. The Friday 2-piece dine-in fish fry is just $4.99. That is nuts. The Mind Chef in downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh. Don't turn your oven on. Just walk in today for your free pizza with plenty to take home for tomorrow. MindChefRestaurant.com, the amazing Mind Chef.
Enjoy the day today. 73 degrees, sunny skies, gorgeous outside. Chilly, comfortable tonight, low in the 40s. Good sleeping weather tomorrow. High of 80. Breezy conditions. Cold front seems to move in here on Saturday, it looks like, with a high of 62. Chance for rain later in the evening. It is 65 and sunny in Milwaukee at 11:47.
Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
Time for our weekly wellness check with Dr. Ben Weston, Associate Professor of Emergency Medicine for the Medical College of Wisconsin and Chief Health Policy Advisor for Milwaukee County. Happy Thursday, Dr. Weston.
Happy Thursday. Good to be with you.
Yeah, good to have you on here. You had a story in our newscast about the flu vaccine. We're starting to get a little deeper into the fall season. People start thinking about protecting themselves a little. So why is it important to get a flu shot every year, and how does the vaccine protect against new flu strains? Because we know the flu strain definitely evolves.
Well, it's a timely topic because I'll tell you, I just got my flu shot about 1 hour ago. But the reason why is because flu evolves quickly, just like we hear with COVID and some other viruses. And that's why every year the vaccine gets updated. And so this year it's matching the most commonly circulated strains. And the way the shot works is it stimulates our immune system. It teaches our immune system to be ready to produce antibodies to fight against the flu virus when we're exposed to it, which inevitably most folks are going to get exposed to it at some point in the season.
Dr. Weston, you said you just got your flu shot an hour ago. I'm wondering if you do what I do. After I get one, I kind of do some arm exercises, and I just get that arm working so it doesn't hurt later. Do you do that?
Well, now that you mention it, of course, I'm sitting here doing some arm circles, and I'm feeling just the slightest bit of soreness going on, but the first part of my answer is no, I don't do that. The second part of my answer is yes, I'm going to start doing that.
It helps. It does. It helps. I always feel like, and then if you get too busy and then the next day it hurt, I'm like, I didn't do the arm exercises as much. In fact, I said that. Didn't I say that, Greg, this year?
Oh, you did. You actually acted it out, right? You were sort of doing the workout as you were explaining it.
I did. Hey, I want to ask, though, because I remember when I went in to go get my flu shot and the COVID shot, I was just having my annual physical at the time, so I thought, let's just get this done in one shot here. I remember them saying something about this year's flu shot. So what makes this year's flu shot different, and do we know if it will be effective?
So the easy answer is what makes this year's flu shot different is it's updated, right? It's updated to target what we've seen circulating the most. But the more specific answer is it targets 3 different strains of flu. And that makes sure that the 3 most common strains that we're seeing are being targeted. Now, as far as the effectiveness, it's hard to say. We can look at what happened in the southern hemisphere that gets an earlier flu season than we do. Now, based on that, it looks like it's moderate, maybe even not as effective as in past years. But I'll tell you, even if you look at, say, 40% effectiveness, which is about what they're predicting, yes, it's not 100%, but that still is going to be millions of folks who aren't going to get infected. It's going to be tens of thousands of people who aren't going to get hospitalized and thousands who aren't going to die from flu. And so remember, even though most folks are just getting sick, especially for more vulnerable populations, that's the older folks, really young children, and people with chronic medical conditions, a lot of folks get hospitalized and get really sick from flu each season.
Yeah, Dr. Weston, you'll understand why I work in radio and not in medicine after I ask this question. Why can't an alternate shot be on the ready once an understanding of what the flu strain is becomes more readily available, right? You get it early, you're kind of guessing a little bit, but once you get more knowledge and information, why is there not an update to the flu shot?
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of how it works. So when the flu shot becomes available, so a few weeks ago, the flu shot first became available, and that's based on what we're seeing in the southern hemisphere because they get their flu season a little bit earlier. And it's based also on what sort of transitions and dynamics we've seen in past years from the flu. And so they do their best, but of course, you want it at the right time. And right now I try to time my flu shot personally. And so right now I think is the best time to get the flu shot. We're just starting to see cases come in, and so you'll have a little bit of time to build your immunity, but that immunity will peak and will be there when we hit the peak of flu season in probably late December or sometime in January. And so I think right now, that's why I went and got it this morning. I think right now is the best time to go and get your flu shot. But the bottom line is there's no wrong time. If you got it a month ago, if you're going to get it in a couple of weeks, because that's the time that works for you, just get that flu shot, get yourself protected into the season.
Sure. I had mentioned that I got the flu shot and I got the COVID-19 vaccine at the same time, so you can do that. But what should people expect in terms of side effects?
Yeah, you absolutely can get them at the same time. That's going to be your easiest way to do it. That's why you have 2 arms, right, for 2 vaccines. Now, the side effects for most people are going to be either nothing or a little bit of a sore arm. That's what most people are going to get. Now, occasionally, folks will feel crummy the next day. And so you may not want to have your big plans, your wedding, your big job interview, whatever it is, the day after, particularly with the COVID vaccine. So sometimes people feel a little crummy the day after, but that usually just lasts for a day and goes away. But that protection, of course, from the vaccine keeps working into the season.
Dr. Ben Weston joining us here in Wisconsin's Midday News. Switching gears, Dr. Weston, a groundbreaking technique makes skin transparent and Doritos are involved. Can you walk me through this?
This is kind of cool. So it's early. It's just I think they did it on mice for now, but there's this dye. It's a food-safe dye. It's yellow number 5, it's called, and it's what makes our Doritos that lovely, strange, orangish yellow color. But it turns out if you put it in a certain concentration and you put it on skin, it actually changes the way the light refracts through the skin. So normally light bounces off the skin, and that's why you can't see through the skin. But this redirects the light and lets it kind of go through, and so you can see through the skin. You can see muscles, you can see blood vessels, and it's kind of wild. You can look it up and see pictures of it, but it could really change the way you do certain medical procedures.
Wow, it sounds like a science fiction book. So what potential medical applications could this breakthrough have, if proven safe for humans, of course?
Yeah, so of course it has to be proven safe, and that'll take some time. But if it is, and if it works well in humans, you can imagine everything from as simple as putting in an IV on people who have challenging veins. When you see the vein right there, it's a whole lot easier to put that IV in, or evaluating, a growth or a tumor underneath the skin, or even doing more complex medical procedures that typically would require an incision and opening up the skin to see everything going on could be much more minimally invasive. So really, the sky's the limit as far as what something like this in the future, proven safe, proven effective, could have on medical treatments.
Well, so you mentioned the infancy of the research. I'm sure there are some safety concerns. What are those, and how long before potentially testing in humans begins?
Yeah, I mean, it's so early that really the answer is who knows, right? I mean, the good news is this is a food-safe coloring dye. We eat it all the time whenever you eat Doritos or other sort of things that have this common dye in it. So we know it's not a toxic kind of thing. But what we don't know is, what happens when you put it in the right concentration for skin? What happens when you rub it on your skin for a prolonged period of time? The good news is you just rinse it off and it's gone. But of course, there needs to be more research to make sure that it is safe when used in this different sort of way.
Well, from Dorito talk to dirty soda, I wish we had time, Dr. Weston, but we're out of time, so we're going to have to save our dirty soda talk until next week.
Well, there's a teaser.
Right? See?
Same bad time, same bad channel. Dr. Ben Weston, Associate Professor of Emergency Medicine at the Medical College of Wisconsin and Chief Health Policy Advisor for Milwaukee County. Have a great rest of the week, Dr. Weston. We'll check in again next week.
All right, we'll talk about dirty soda. Take care.
You got it. Going to the top of the list. Dirty soda. What is it?
Can't wait.
It's making my teeth cringe already. It's 11:56. News is next.
Wisconsin volleyball has a new home.
It's match point in Madison.
Catch all the excitement of the 2024 season.
Booth and Spreck putting up that Wisconsin wall.
And don't miss out on moments like this.
Booth dunks it down with 2 hands, and that's a point for Wisconsin. Set Spreck, kill Franklin.
Badgers volleyball on WTMJ is presented by Steinhoffels. Don't miss any of the action right here on Wisconsin's radio station, 620 WTMJ.
Our Greyhound Knight was walking around the house last night, kind of clicking and clacking, and he's a big dog. He's an 80-pound Greyhound, and his nails grow fast. It is time for us to book an appointment for grooming. We go to the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls. It's the place to go for really anything you need with regard to your dog. Yeah, they got treats there and cool stuff, but doggy daycare, doggy boarding, and grooming services all right there in a beautiful 12,000 square foot facility. It's a great place to just hang out with your dog. They can socialize. You can socialize, watch a game, get some food from the food truck. Great collection of Wisconsin-influenced beverages are also available for you at the Hounds and Tap as part of their indoor-outdoor tavern. Tavern, food trucks, watch a game, socialize, hang out with your dog, inside or out, and just leave the dog, maybe if you need, for daycare services or boarding. It's an amazing place. It's the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls, and it's right off Silver Spring. Really easy to find. Visit thehoundsandtap.com or check out their Facebook page. They've got dozens of pictures. You'll see how happy the dogs are that are taking advantage of the daycare and boarding services. They do it the right way. It's a fantastic place run by great people. It's the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruberg Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruberg Law Offices. One call, that's all.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You want to know the price of a new roof on your home today? Well, it's easy. Just go to TriCountyContractingWI.com, click on the Instant Roof Quote button, put in your address and email, click the Show My Roof Price, and there you go. Zero wait time. There's your quote. You shop online for everything else. Who says you can't shop online for a new roof? Tri-County Contracting at WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Fredert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in Wisconsin, so there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit fredert.com/cancer.
Hey, still time to participate in our WTMJ Fall Fan Survey. It'll take you about 10 minutes, and we're looking for feedback from you. If you'd like to participate, just text the word survey. I've seen a lot of that pop up on our text line here, so thank you for doing that. Text survey to our WTMJ talk and text line at 855-616-1620. We'll get a link sent back to your mobile device. And upon completion of the survey, you'll automatically be entered to win a package that includes a couple of Bucks tickets for the upcoming season and an overnight stay at the Pfister.
If you're seeking Lake Country's finest, don't miss out on the Westerly, opening this spring.
It's close to shopping, easy access to Highway 94. I've never tried a golf simulator, so for sure I'll try that. I'm looking forward to some classes in the pool. Heated. When I'm ready for assisted living, I don't have to leave my apartment. They will take care of me right in my familiar surroundings. That is very important to me.
The Westerly has you covered. Apartment reservations are booking quickly. Visit livingwesterly.com.
Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattress.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 12:01, I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Thursday, October 10th. Your top story, storm cleanup continues.
I'm Jessica Ty. Misconduct allegations against a school staffer.
Beautiful day today with a high of 73 degrees. Clear tonight and a low of 53, maybe a little cooler inland. Partly cloudy and breezy and warm on Friday with a high of 80. 64 and sunny in Milwaukee. At 12:02 from the WTMJ breaking newsroom, Hurricane Milton off into the Atlantic Ocean, leaving devastation behind in Florida. ABC's Jim Ryan on the cleanup efforts.
For some, recovery from Milton means raking up palm fronds from the front yard. For others,
we felt a huge bang, shook our building.
He lives in St. Petersburg, near the spot where a massive construction crane stood before Milton came to town.
And about 2-3 minutes later, I went and looked at the big building because you can see it, and the crane was gone.
St. Petersburg also is where Tropicana Field stands, minus the roof torn off by the hurricane. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Tampa.
Hurricane help coming from Wisconsin. Red Cross Southwest Wisconsin started prepping and sending supplies when Milton was still a tropical storm. The executive director shares the group's plans with their partners at WISC TV.
We've got a lot of our supplies and volunteers down there helping right now. We've got anticipating more to go down and help in the upcoming days. We do have volunteers right now that are in the areas, to help with sheltering for those that have been evacuated for Hurricane Milton.
The main ways to help right now: volunteer, donate blood, or make a financial donation.
Suing for safety in schools. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty sues Milwaukee Public Schools for failing to provide student resource officers required by Act 12. Will Associate Counsel Lauren Gruhl tells WTMJ this was driven by MPS parents like her client.
The parents want these SROs in schools, and they're the ones who are advocating for it on a local level to the people in Madison that are then passing this law.
At least 25 SROs were supposed to be in MPS schools by January 1st of last year.
Sexual misconduct allegations against an elementary school staffer. The Kenosha County Sheriff's Office is investigating allegations against a 33-year-old female staffer at Riverview Elementary School in Silver Lake. The alleged misconduct involved a current and former student, but the Sheriff's Office says none of the incidents happened during school hours or on school property. The staffer is currently being held in the Kenosha County Jail awaiting charges. The school district is cooperating with this investigation.
Time for news about your money. In the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update, the Dow is currently down about 112 points, 42,399. The NASDAQ up about 2.5 points, kind of going back and forth here from red to green. In the green right now, however, at 18,291. S&P 500 is off today about 11 points at 5781. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sounding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:04.
Does your home need a new defensive coach? Is it prepared for the upcoming wind, cold, rain, and snow? I recommend Siding Unlimited. Can wind and cold get through your windows? Siding Unlimited fixes that. Water and snow a challenge for your roof? Siding Unlimited fixes that too. Is the siding letting the elements through or just looking offensive? Fixing that is Siding Unlimited's first and continuing specialty. When the weather's offense beats your home's defense, call in Siding Unlimited. They're not only the best, they're now a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Their name says siding, but they're so much more. Whatever the challenge, put Siding Unlimited in. See their stuff, siding, windows, roofing, and decks, on Instagram or at their unique outside-in showroom in Brookfield. They're waiting for you. What are you waiting for? SidingUnlimited.com.
This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, and I want to talk about exactly what we do. When you come here, you're going to get 2 shots with 2 very small needles. One will be a medication called Toradol, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, completely different from a standard steroid or cortisone injection. This medication is safe and a great pain reliever. The other will be hyaluronic acid, which is a naturally occurring fluid found in all of our joints. What hyaluronic acid does is it helps recoat the inside surfaces to provide cushioning and lubrication. It helps slow down the osteoarthritis process to a point where patients may not need surgery. All of this combined with using our state-of-the-art Ultra G machine developed by NASA has produced profound results. What we do works. And the best part about this is that insurance covers most of our patients' treatments. Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. Packers wide receiver Christian Watson, a limited participant at practice, hopeful to play Sunday after missing last weekend's game with an ankle injury.
I'm going to keep on pushing it every single day if I feel like I can, take another step. And it's, my goal every week is to play.
Packers and Cardinals kick off Sunday at noon from Lambeau Field. And the Bucks are on the home floor tonight in a preseason game taking on LeBron and the Lakers. Hear the game on WTMJ with tip-off scheduled for 7 o'clock. And in baseball, the Mets advance to the NLCS. They'll take on the winner of the Padres-Dodgers series, which is tied at 2 games apiece.
Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We do have a couple new incidents that I want to let you know about. The first one, 794 at Oklahoma. There's some debris in the road that needs to be cleaned up, so expect some lane closures because of that. Once again, that's in Milwaukee County. 794 north at Oklahoma. There's some stuff on the road. They've got to take care of that, so lane delays and lane closures will be upcoming here. Also, out in Waukesha County, we have a new crash. 83 north at 94 west. Right shoulder is blocked due to a crash out there. I'm taking a peek at the video right now. Looks like a couple of cars are involved. There is an emergency responder at the scene. Traffic is moving a little bit slowly there as it goes by that crash.
Enjoy the weather today. High of 73, a lot of sun tonight, clear and cool. 53 if you're closer to the lake, might be in the 40s if you're inland. A chance to see those northern lights if you're away from bright lights between 10 and 2 a.m. That looks like the best time to do it. As for Friday, temperatures get a little bump up to 80 with breezy conditions and sunny skies. 64, full of sun in Milwaukee at 12:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
So I had to painfully announce that the Mets have advanced to the NLCS. Of course, they beat the Brewers, and the season wrapped up about a week ago.
Well, it is a fact.
So I mentioned this without putting a lot of detail behind it, but it sort of feels like any team that beats the Brewers in the postseason just goes on this magical run, right?
It does, every time. Seems like it.
Well, so now I can apply some data to it. So digging back here, opponents that beat the Brewers in the playoffs, this goes back to when the Brewers became a National League team, have gone on to be 9-0 in series play against the rest of the National League. So they're not always winning the World Series, but they are plowing through and getting to the World Series. And in all, they've won 14 of 16 series overall after beating the Brewers in the playoffs. That's crazy. That is crazy.
You know what I have to say? Go Bucks. I'm ready for the Bucks. They're playing tonight. It's just a preseason game, but it is the first game here in Milwaukee.
No doubt. 12:09, some big stories that we're following here this afternoon.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Wow, the juxtaposition between yesterday and what we're seeing right now. It is a sunny, beautiful day in Tampa, Florida, and neighboring cities. But if you look closely and you look around, there is a lot of devastation still. The cleanup from Hurricane Milton is just starting today. While ferocious winds, inland flooding, and deadly tornadoes impacted portions of the state, Tampa was spared from the dangerous storm surge. Bradenton Beach Police Chief John Crosby says the city needs to restore power, water, and sewer before people can return. But so far, there are no deaths or injuries reported in his area.
We're going to get the residents and the business owners back much quicker than we did last time. It took us a week, and I would like this to be just a couple of days.
Crosby notes there was significant wind damage and extensive debris cleanup is required at this point. Storm-related deaths were now up to at least 9. And some of those, at least 4 of them, are tied to an outbreak of tornadoes that struck before the hurricane actually made landfall. So you just saw this video. It was wild. I mean, some of them were bigger than others, but taking cars, lifting them up, throwing them into houses is not a good situation. A little bit different than what we've seen in some of the other hurricanes, all these tornadoes, that tornado outbreak. Roughly 3 million people in Florida don't have power right now.
Tesla preparing for a grand product unveiling tonight, and it's a scene straight out of a Hollywood movie. That's exactly where the event's going to happen tonight, right in the Warner Brothers studio in Burbank, California. ABC tech expert Mike Dubusky explains what it's all about.
The event is called We Robot, and it's being held on the back lot of the Warner Brothers Discovery movie studio.
So we're talking about, literal Hollywood here.
Inside EV's Patrick George says Tesla is expected to demonstrate a fully autonomous car, but he says a studio backlot isn't a real-world driving environment.
I have to wonder how authentic it is. Like, if Tesla had really cracked, fully self-driving cars, why not do this demonstration in downtown Austin, where they're located, which is also choked with traffic?
Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
So Tesla CEO Elon Musk has hinted at this self-driving car thing. It could be a ride share similar to Uber, but, just floating around above your head. He's been touting this since 2019, saying, this is the year we do it. This is the year we do it. This goes back, and he's now taking cracks at himself, saying, I've been optimistic about this for several years, and it's not really come to fruition, but it gets people thinking. And I mean, this is straight out of the Jetsons, right? This flying car idea just above your head.
That's what I was saying the other day. It feels like we should have had this years ago. Even though once it's finally here, it will still feel a little crazy.
Well, the first that we really got word of it was, several years ago. Now, decades ago.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Yeah, then Doc and Marty take off with the girl, and they end up in this alternate universe. But yeah, the idea of flying cars, you got to hand it to Back to the Future, too. They nailed it.
Great movie. Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is scheduled to be back in a Manhattan federal courtroom in, less than an hour here. This will be the first time he makes an appearance before the judge who will preside over his trial on sex trafficking charges. Diddy has been in a Brooklyn jail since his arrest last month. Diddy's lawyers are trying for a third time to get him released on bail. ABC's Phil Tate reports.
They'll be trying yet another effort to get him released from jail after being denied not just once but twice, essentially now putting up this bail package for a third time as they did just last month. They'll put up his $48 million estate as collateral, listing his private jet for sale, eliminating any risk of flight, and hiring the celebrity private security firm owned by former NYPD detective Herman Weisberg, who would secure Diddy inside of his home.
Additional charges include racketeering and conspiracy stemming back to 2008. And the 54-year-old's lawyers also filed a motion for another hearing because the latest is they're accusing the federal government of leaking hotel surveillance footage. That's that video that so many people have seen. It's been everywhere online of him beating his former girlfriend, Casey Ventura.
12:14 on WTMJ. Joel Brennan, a weekly visit from the president of the Greater Milwaukee Committee, happens after this.
So LeBron has a new stunt double in Hollywood. Well, this father-son duo won't be topping any box offices here.
LeBron takes off, blocked by Giannis at the rim. Lillard tries the contact, puts the shot up and hits it with a foul.
Bucks basketball is back in the Cream City. It's the Bucks and the Lakers tonight. Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts at 6:30. We are the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Well, this basketball talk is making me hungry. In fact, there's a lot of things that make me hungry. I'm frequently hungry, and I like it when Palermo's cures my hunger. That's right. Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's, made in the state of Wisconsin, celebrating 60 years of doing it right. You got the little tummy growl here this afternoon. Palermo's can help. If you're thinking about dinner already, how about an idea? Palermo's on the dinner table. Everybody's going to be happy after it cooks about, 20 minutes or so in your 425-degree oven. Connie's, Surfer Boy, you name it. Screamin' Sicilian, personal favorite of mine. They've got a slice for every appetite with Palermo's. And it's made in Wisconsin, so you are supporting local while eating great and solving a problem. In answering the question, what's for dinner tonight? Make it easy. Make it a Palermo's night.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's Dave from Feldco. Did drafty windows make last winter frigid? Listen, Feldco's here to make things easier for you. It's the perfect time of year to replace those old windows. Right now, get 50% off windows plus no money down and no interest for 1 year. Visit us at 4feldco.com or give us a call at 866-4Feldco.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866-4Feldco.
Beautiful weather today, a high of 73 degrees, maybe a little cooler if you're closer to the lake. Tonight, clear skies, chance to see the northern lights after 10 o'clock, and a low of 53, a little chillier inland down into the 40s. Tomorrow, a little bump up to 80 with breezy conditions and sunny skies. It is 64 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:16. Phil Brennan is the president of the Greater Milwaukee Committee. He joins us in studio. He's wearing a raincoat. It looks like a raincoat. We don't have the benefit of seeing outside in our 3rd Street Market Hall studio, so you came in. I'm thinking to myself, I'm going through this forecast, and it's a beautiful day. Like maybe I missed something.
Your forecast was appropriate. This is just a layer. It's a layer.
Okay.
It's still crisp out there. You said 70s. I don't think it's quite there yet.
Well, 64 is what we got here at our 3rd Street Market Hall studios.
I think because the mornings have been so much chillier than we're used to, like the 64 that's happening out there right now doesn't necessarily feel like 64, even though it's a beautiful 64.
Not all 64s are created equal.
So hence Joel has an extra layer.
Well, welcome to the studio. Good to have you here. We ran out of time last week, but I wanted to touch on this Thrive On project that you were a part of. It was a part of your monthly meetings that the Greater Milwaukee Committee holds. Can you explain what this is and what it means?
Yeah, if you stepped out the front door of the 3rd Street Market Hall here and just went about a mile and a half north, you'd get to roughly the intersection of MLK and North Avenue, which has a fascinating place in Milwaukee's history. For 100 years, it was that neighborhood was the place of it was like the center of German commerce in Milwaukee, and there were a number of stores there. Schuster's department store was really one of the hallmarks of that neighborhood. And then for another 50 or so years, the Bronzeville neighborhood was a center of commerce and culture for the African American community in Milwaukee. Places there were jazz clubs where Dizzy Gillespie played, and Nat King Cole, and a number of other renowned artists. And then through the freeway running through there, I-43 and other challenges, there was some significant disinvestment. Well, this project is part of a rebirth and a renaissance of the Bronzeville neighborhood. This Thrive on King project, a collaboration between the Medical College of Wisconsin and the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, and they've refurbished the old Schuster's Gimbel's department store building. But it's a center where the community and the neighborhood can gather, but there are other partners inside that are involved in workforce development and early childhood education, in a number of things that are going to have huge impact in that neighborhood, but also for the whole community. So we gathered about 120 people on Monday to celebrate that project and celebrate its progress, but also to celebrate other things that are going on in that immediate neighborhood. There's been significant investment by other partners in the neighborhood. The Howard Fuller Collegiate Academy opened just next door. Food for Life is another thing that's going on there. So there's stuff that's happening there that really adds to the vitality of that neighborhood, but also where we're going as a community.
Some people might hear a couple nuggets in there and say, one, okay, that's really neat because it's got the restoration and redevelopment of Gimbel's, Schuster's, and then other people who are talking about, the new home and not just surviving, but thriving. So if people are hearing all of that and saying, I want to get on board, is there a way that the community can be engaged and help out?
Well, the neighborhood and the community have been actively involved in even the planning of it. And a lot of the work that the medical college is doing out of that space is around some of their work with the community around safety and things. So there are lots of ways to plug in. There's also a residential component still under development, but I think there's about 90 units of affordable housing that are going in as part of the project. So it really is part of the anchor of the neighborhood. And I happen to live just a few blocks away from there in Brewers Hill. And I can tell you that the Brewers Hill, Halyard Park, Harambe, all of those, the residents of that neighborhood, those neighborhoods have been deeply involved in the planning of this over the last couple of years.
So is it ultimately going to be this new kind of community hub, which I think is really important to have these community hubs in different neighborhoods?
There's public space there. I think it will be a community hub, but it adds to what's already a thriving community. You have partners who have been there for a long time. The Greater Milwaukee Urban League. There's another project that is going to do significant redevelopment at the corner of MLK and North Avenue. That's the site of the old Department of Natural Resources building. So there's lots of investment. The total investment just of these couple projects is about $150 million. Oh,
wow.
And that's not a downtown project. It's fairly near to downtown. You can get there, but it's also part of a pipeline and momentum that's going hopefully all the way up MLK Drive and will have great impact and influence in Milwaukee.
You could do a poll of people who live downtown, and I bet nobody would say, yeah, I like going further away from my home to do the things I love to do. Everybody would love to do that walking out their front door. And what you're talking about is kind of that multifaceted sort of approach where you might have a restaurant, you might have housing that pops up, you might have green space, a place to take your dog, and a place to go get coffee. Not that 6-7 minutes away by car would be overly inconvenient, but maybe not as convenient if you have this multifaceted neighborhood development.
Right. And you've got people, this is a part of Milwaukee where there are neighbors and people who have been stakeholders in this part of the community for 30 or 40 years. And they have been part of the plan, but they've also been kind of waiting for the rest of us to come back along and reinvest and reengage in these neighborhoods. And I would just tell you what the Medical College of Wisconsin, what the Greater Milwaukee Foundation did in the way that they went about it. The fact that they put $105 million into this project is significant. Kevin Newell was also part of that development project from Royal Capital Group. Like, that's important, but the way they went about it, of engaging with the neighborhoods in very appropriate ways, there's a lesson for us to learn about how to do this elsewhere in Milwaukee, because we need that level of engagement, investment in other neighborhoods as well.
President Biden was just here in Milwaukee this week. He announced this 10-year deadline to remove all lead pipes across the country. We know that's been an issue here in the city. What were your thoughts on his visit and what he had to say?
Well, I mean, this is still an issue in Milwaukee. I think we've got about 65,000 residential lead pipe laterals that are still here, and we're making progress on it. This year, I think the city is removing about 2,500 of those. But yeah, we're going to have to accelerate that over the course of the next 12 or 13 years, because the EPA has said you got to get rid of all of these. And part of what he was doing was saying, there's about $2.6 billion of funding that's coming through the Federal Infrastructure Act. Wisconsin will get about $43 million of that. A significant amount of that will come to Milwaukee. So, one of the great things about where we are right now, and there's some disruption to it, but you're seeing a pretty dramatic reinvestment or investment in infrastructure, which, we have seen that there are challenges with, and we're, unfortunately, our friends and colleague people we know in Florida, they're facing the wrath of Mother Nature on that. We have really old infrastructure here that just, we need to do, and things like lead pipes that are part of a health problem. The challenge with lead is that, kids get the lead that they get makes sure or prohibits them from learning. There are challenges for them lifelong throughout their health. So these are things we need to do. We also need to address lead paint.
Right.
And there are people on the Common Council who appropriately were saying, let's not forget that that's another issue, and we need to do that. So we need to make sure that we're investing in all these things.
There's bipartisan support for it, as President Biden explained. What happens if Kamala Harris is not in office, if Donald Trump wins? Does it continue? Because there is bipartisan support, but what happens to the process of trying to accomplish that goal? Because, 10 years from now, who knows who is in office? Even though this is President Biden's goal today, he will certainly not be in office anytime ever again, and there's no guarantee that there is Democratic control in the White House.
Yeah, and I hope we've laid the groundwork. These are, I think, hopefully some of the things that we can all agree on. Like you said, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, as I recall, when President Trump was elected, he talked about infrastructure work for almost all 4 of those years. Wasn't able to get anything done in a bipartisan fashion. They did, and maybe laid the groundwork for some of that. They did do that in the Biden administration. I would hope and I would think that these are the kind of things that we're going to continue to invest in, because you see what happens when you don't. We've lived with what happens when we don't make those kind of investments, and that's some of what we have to face, and the costs are much greater if you don't do that.
Joel, we were talking about this earlier, and I wanted to ask you before we let you go here. LeBron James, last night, tweets out, "Can someone please explain to me why we're getting on a plane and heading to Milwaukee for one preseason game?" People are having a lot of fun with this. Everybody's going all in, like Good City Brewing saying, "Here's the reason why, it's our beer." Well, what would be your reaction, your response to LeBron?
I guess off the cuff, my reaction would LeBron have said the same thing if he had to go this far to go to Cleveland, which is in his backyard. Like, he knows the great things about Midwestern communities. He's a product of one. I know he took his talents to South Beach. He went to L.A. He still has got some Midwestern. I think it's more that he didn't want to get on a plane and go a long way and come back. I don't think it was a diss on Milwaukee.
I think you're right.
But he knows, and we all know what great things we have in the Midwest, and he's a product of that kind of thing too.
I don't think he's getting booed like Jesse Winker. I don't think that's going to happen for LeBron. And Bronny. He gets to bring his kid with him.
Jesse Winker. I didn't know who he was like months ago. I want to forget him tomorrow.
Yeah, we should all forget that name, I think.
Well, just don't watch
Let's
baseball.
drink to forget that name.
Yeah, amen. It's 12:26. Joel, we appreciate your time. We'll check it again next week.
Thank you, guys.
News is next.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment and Capital Heating and Cooling. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Oh, I love a good contest, and this is a good contest. This is a fun one, isn't it? It's back. The Sidex Creepiest Bathroom Contest. I remember doing this last year. As part of the afternoon show, John Mercure was leading the charge. It is back. So much fun here. If you got a horrific shower or tub space and it looks like it's right out of a horror movie, here's your chance for a full makeover valued up to $10,000 thanks to Sidex. Here's what you do. Take a picture of that nasty shower or tub space and then text the word creepy to the WTMJ Talk and Text line. That's 855-616-1620. You can submit your picture and potentially win a full conversion courtesy of Sidex. What a cool deal. It's the creepiest bathroom contest from Sidex. For contest rules, check out our website, WTMJ.com. And hey, if your bathroom isn't all that creepy, it's all right. You still might be in the market for a tub or shower conversion, and Sidex can help. Send that picture anyway and have some fun with it. It's the Sidex Creepiest Bathroom Contest.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money too. That's ACCUNET.com.
Happy fall! WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattress. You know, my wife wants to redo the whole living room. Not sure what we're doing for furniture, but I do know where we're going to buy it. Built Right, just a few miles from our home on the south side. Built Right's 96th anniversary celebration and $1 million clearance sell-off is on now. All about your comfort, your style, your home at Built Right. Third and fourth generation family members in the store working with their amazing team with more than 400 years experience. Be ready for your holiday guests with thousands of items in stock plus 500 mattresses and custom orders. They're faster in 2024. Built Right has affordable, better quality furniture and mattresses, USA made, small scale, Amish made, real solid wood, more than 55 models of power lift recliners in stock. Free in-store design services. Built Right always saves you money. Voted best place to shop. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, closed to be with family. Tell them Vinny sent you to Built Right, 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Do you have the greatest possible fire protection?
Fire sprinklers protect lives and property in your building.
Are you ensuring that your fire sprinkler system is receiving the proper care that it requires?
Just like the other systems within your building, it is essential that the fire sprinkler system be inspected, tested, and maintained.
Protect your investment and, most importantly, occupants and firefighters by incorporating a regular ITM program in your building.
For more information, visit nfsa.org.
That's nfsa.org.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It is Thursday, October 10th. Your top story, all hands on deck with hurricane relief efforts.
I'm Jessica Ty. Another campaign event revealed for Wisconsin.
Sunny and mild today. Nice day. A high of 73. A little chillier near the lake, but sunny conditions. Mainly clear tonight and a low of 53. Friday, a little bump up. Breezy and warm, up to 80 under partly cloudy skies. 65 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:31. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, sending hurricane support from Wisconsin. Julie Zimmerman is the Wisconsin Regional Chief Operating Officer of the American Red Cross. She tells our partners at WISC TV they'll be anywhere needed.
We are helping with everything. I mean, everything from evacuation shelters with Milton to continuing to shelter and reunification efforts with Helene down, like I said, in the Carolinas right now.
Zimmerman is one of over 60 Wisconsinites headed down south for hurricane support.
Decision Wisconsin. Democratic vice presidential candidate Governor Tim Walz is coming back to the state. He'll arrive at the Chippewa Valley Regional Airport in Eau Claire on Monday, then head to a political event. Then he flies to Green Bay for an afternoon campaign event.
Well, one last cruise ship is coming to Milwaukee this season. Port Milwaukee officially concludes its 2024 cruise season on Sunday, October 13th, With the arrival of the Libello, 7 vessels stopped in Milwaukee this season with an estimated 12,000 global passengers visiting the city.
It's time to get your flu shot.
Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley and other county health officials met at Hyatt Pharmacy off of Layton Avenue to encourage residents to get their shots this season.
By getting vaccinated, you are helping to protect not only yourselves, but also those in your family.
County Health Policy Advisor Dr. Ben Weston says while the flu shot is free to get, COVID shots are another story.
It's still, if you are insured, including Medicare or Medicaid, the COVID vaccines should generally be covered. But for uninsured folks, it is a barrier. It is a hoop to jump through.
Sean Brinda, WTMJ News.
Last year, only 37% of Milwaukee County residents got a flu shot.
Well, keep those eyes on the road in West Allis. The Wisconsin State Patrol is partnering with West Allis Police for special traffic enforcement in West Allis today. They'll be focusing on speeding and distracted driving to help prevent reckless driving. So don't forget, buckle up and put the phone down.
A father and son duo coming here to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks tonight. Sports, traffic, and weather next. Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:33.
Okay, close your mouth and take a deep breath in through your nose. So the way it's supposed to be is that you should be able to breathe easily. You shouldn't feel constrained. What it should feel like is air briskly flowing freely through both nasal passages, day and night. And if not, there's a problem. And it's a don't know what your problem really was until you got it fixed kind of problem. You're living with it. I mean, you're tired a lot. It might give you headaches and sinus pressure, but you're living with it. Yeah, you sound like almost every patient we help until we get their problem fixed. And then you hear them saying, why would I put up with that? Advent will get you breathing freely again with simple in-office solutions like turbinate reduction along with balloon sinuplasty that really can change your life.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
At Inspired Closets, we're proud to be a locally owned and operated business. We get to help families just like ours by calming the chaos.
That's right, Katie. Milwaukee homeowners have trusted the Anheuser family for 55 years.
And we've continued that tradition with Inspired Closets.
We are not a franchise. This allows us to have the best prices without compromising quality.
Plus, Inspired Closets has a lifetime warranty and price match guarantee.
Buy local and save money today. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
A wife and husband team.
Hey, our fall survey is still out there for you to help. You can help participate with us and give a little feedback. It's the WTMJ Fall 2024 Fan Survey. It'll take you about 10 minutes to complete, and we're looking for some feedback here. To participate, simply text the word survey to the WTMJ Talk and Text line. That's 855-616-1620. Survey to 855-616-1620. We'll get a link sent back to your mobile device. And for participating, upon completion of the survey, you'll be entered to win a package that includes a pair of Bucks tickets for an upcoming regular season game and an overnight stay at the Pfister.
For over 6 decades, Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland has made wishes come true. The magic begins again this Saturday at 7 a.m. with incredible doorbuster deals and more. Like select Barbie dolls, just $3.99. Buy 2 packs of Pokemon trading cards, get 1 free. Plus, Saturday only, be one of the first 100 people in store to get a free scratch-off for $10 to $100 off your entire purchase. See store for details. Don't miss Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland opening weekend. The magic begins this Saturday at 7 a.m.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. Packers wide receiver Christian Watson, a limited participant at practice. He's hopeful to play Sunday after missing last weekend's game with an ankle injury.
I'm going to keep on pushing it every single day if I feel like I can, take another step. And it's, my goal every week is to play.
Packers and Cardinals kick off Sunday at noon from Lambeau Field. In baseball, the Mets advance to the NLCS. They'll take on the winner of the Padres-Dodgers series, which is tied at 2 games apiece. And LeBron and the Lakers are in Milwaukee, against his will perhaps, to face the Bucks tonight in a preseason game. You can hear it right here on WTMJ. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 o'clock.
Yeah, Milwaukee had something to say after his tweet last night. A lot of people in Milwaukee responding to LeBron James' tweet last night. Well, let's get you a look at the roads right now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Not too bad. No big crashes to let you know about. A couple disabled vehicles that aren't impacting the system. Do want to give you a heads up, though. 794 north at Oklahoma. There's a little bit of debris in the road. So DOT is basically saying you might run into a lane closure or two because of that. They need to clean that up. But once they do, it won't take long.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
Be our eyes on the road. Report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the WTMJ Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329.
Well, nice day today. Fall conditions, but comfortable. 73 your high. Should be sunny wherever you are. Tonight, nice and clear with lows in the low 50s, maybe upper 40s if you're a little more inland. Tomorrow, we bump up to 80 degrees. It's going to be a beautiful day. Breezy, partly cloudy, but nice. Right now, it's 65 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:38.
Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born. Into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone and packed around alone.
Well, FEMA says it's ready and able to assist those affected by Hurricane Milton. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy following the story here as the cleanup continues in Florida.
We're looking at damaged hospitals.
FEMA Regional Administrator Willie Nunn says the full extent of the damage will become clear over time. Search and rescue teams coordinated by FEMA will go house to house. But when it comes to the immediate response,
the state is always in the lead.
Nunn says despite concerns about the disaster relief fund running low, for now,
we are fully funded.
Nunn says it's important to disregard online rumors. He insists FEMA will provide assistance as it has in the past.
We have the funds to do that.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News.
Yeah, so support is on its way from the state of Wisconsin. Jessica, as we talked about, We Energy crews headed down there, American Red Cross representatives from Wisconsin. They're only just beginning here after not even getting through the cleanup from Hurricane Helene.
That's right. I mean, you have millions of people without power right now, and this is really just the beginning. It doesn't happen quickly, that's for sure, but there is a lot of help from across the country, including, as you mentioned, right here in Wisconsin. You've got the Biden administration promising swift action today and resources from FEMA.
President Biden, we're told, also spoke to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis this morning. Governor DeSantis told the president they are still assessing the damage across the state, and he thanked the president for what he calls the extensive federal support the state needs. Florida Senator Rick Scott also saying that he spoke with President Biden this morning, and he said he is 100% focused on making sure FEMA and other agencies are fully funded and have boots on the ground until Florida is fully recovered.
And at this point, we know at least 9 people have died as a result of the storm.
I want to go live to Tampa, Florida, where a good friend of mine, Matt Saunders, lives. He has lived in Wisconsin for roughly 40 years. About a year and a half ago, he and his family moved down to the Tampa area. He's used to snow emergencies. He's not used to hurricane emergencies. He was not in an evacuation zone. They decided to ride it out. Matt joins us. Matt, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I think so. I think we got it working now.
Yeah, good. I know the phone connection, it was not available. We tried calling your phone, and it went straight to voicemail. It's kind of a sign of what's happening down there. Take me through your experience last night when things started to ratchet up.
Yeah, to your point, I mean, I've experienced a lot of winters in Wisconsin, but man, this was nothing like I've ever experienced before. I mean, we were thankfully well prepared for everything, prior to it starting, but once it hit landfall, and even before it hit landfall, actually, the winds started kicking up, and it was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. The hurricane shutters we have up on the house were rattling like crazy. It sounded every about 15 minutes like something was slamming into the side of the house. It just was a lot of anxiety, a lot of anxious moments around here for sure last night.
Oh, I can only imagine. So that paints a great visual. I'm wondering, once it's safe and you open the door and you walk outside, what did you see, and what is it like out there today?
Yeah, actually, before that even, I had to brave the elements last night a handful of times while the hurricane was going on. At one point, thankfully, we never lost power, which was great. But my daughter went to the sink and tried to turn on the sink, and we had no water, which isn't uncommon in huge storms like this if the water plant goes down. But our neighbors, we texted them, they still had water. So I had to go outside to kind of investigate. And it turns out a fence that I had on the side of my house ripped a pipe off of our water system, and it was spewing water out all over the place. So I had to get a wrench, go to the water main by the road and get that tightened up so that it would clinch off the water supply to the house. So now I have no water. Don't know when we're going to be able to fix that since everything is closed down here. No hardware stores are open or anything. So we'll go a couple days without water, but thankfully we have power. But then to answer your other question, I mean, walking outside today, it's kind of surreal because it's, beautiful skies. It's warm weather. It looks, if you look straight up, it looks like nothing happened. And then you look down and you see trees down everywhere, fences down, a lot of debris kind of thrown around in the area. It's very surreal.
Matt Saunders joining us from the Tampa area. So, Matt, you chose not to evacuate. Did you sleep last night? Like, how do you go through this, right? I mean, it was an hours-long ordeal.
Yeah, it was. And then a second surge of wind came after the first one kind of died down a little bit. So to answer your question, no, I didn't get much sleep. We got maybe a couple hours sleep. Probably laid our heads down finally at about 3 o'clock. And then got up very early today to kind of assess the damage. Because the hardest part, too, is being in the house with the shutters up. You rely on your Ring cameras only to see what's going on. You can't really see too much. So we had to go outside and kind of assess everything that was going on, pick up some of the debris. I think, got relatively lucky compared to what we're seeing in the neighborhood, too. There's I have a cage that goes over the pool that a lot of people in Florida down here have, and I see a handful of those just in and around my backyard pond area where they're just ripped off the house and thrown around. So we feel pretty lucky with the minimal amount of damage that we had. There's some things to do, but in the grand scheme of things, I think we did pretty well.
I remember that from Ian because you could have one home right here that was kind of ripped to shreds and that pool topping just blown away, and then the home right next door could be absolutely fine. It's just kind of Mother Nature and the power.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, we have it's new construction last year, so the trees, a lot of the trees were newer saplings, and our tree by the street was ripped right out of the ground, and that exact same tree next door at our neighbors, perfectly fine. We've got a couple of palm trees that snapped in half, things like that, and then you look, 2 houses down, and their trees are just fine. So to your point, it's wild how it hits some houses and misses others.
Matt, can you even tell the level of debris left behind? I mean, it wasn't even all cleaned up after Helene.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much today. I've been running around outside mostly, so I haven't really tuned into the news to see the debris that was left from Helene and how much that was played a factor into the destruction last night. But I gotta imagine it's exponentially worse than it was before. They didn't get a chance to clean it all up, so that stuff was there, plus now new. I did see my son came home from University of South Florida, where he's a student, and stayed with us, and luckily he did. That school is completely flooded. And then obviously you guys probably saw that the Tropicana field, the entire roof ripped off. So it's scary for sure to see the level of destruction that these storms can bring.
One of the things that a lot of people were checking out on social media late last night, too, was just the water in Tampa Bay, because as often happens, the hurricane, it actually sucks the water out first. Right. Do you know much about that? Because usually what then happens is that's always a bad sign okay, now's your time to leave, because it sucks it out, and then usually it comes rushing back, and more so. But do you know the situation out in Tampa Bay?
I honestly didn't see because I saw that phenomenon was a potential to happen, right? For that water to get sucked out of the bay. The only images I saw were the huge swells that were in that area, and how high the water was. In some cases, 10, 12 feet high. So if it did happen, I didn't get a chance to see that, but certainly it came back, and it came back with a vengeance.
Matt, do you have any sense for when normalcy returns? There's a massive cleanup effort. I'm sure schools are closed, businesses are closed. There's, gas shortages. The shelves are empty. Any idea for when things start to feel normal again?
From what we've heard, and it certainly depends on where you are specifically in the area, but they said it's going to be every bit of a few weeks before supplies are available again, and you can get maybe not completely back to normal, but even if you have things that you need to do around your house, there's not much you're going to be able to do because you can't get to places to get the supplies. You can't, and they're in demand and they're off the shelves. So it's going to be a long haul for sure. It's not anything that's going to wrap up quickly, unfortunately. And again, being piled on from the previous one, it just makes it only worse. And there's rumors flying around that there may be another one coming within another week, which I don't know if those have, I haven't checked those reports, but those have dissipated. But there was a threat that there could be potentially another hurricane coming next week as well. So just a lot to think about and a lot to do.
Definitely hurricane season through the end of November. Matt Saunders, good friend of mine, full disclosure, used to work together back in a former life, and he is now a Floridian after 40 years in Wisconsin. Glad you're safe, Matt.
Yes.
Thanks for checking in with us. It's really,
absolutely.
It's scary stuff.
Just say real quick, I appreciate you saying that I only lived in Wisconsin for 40 years because you just chopped a decade off of my real age, so I appreciate that.
Hey, who's counting, right? A long time Wisconsin, I do now call Florida home. We appreciate it, Matt. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
You bet. It's 12:48 on WTMJ.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. At a member, new car dealers have factory-warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are as low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. Do not let a busted garage door get you down. If you have any garage-related issues, you make a call to Geis, get on their radar, and they'll do for you what they've done for so many over the years, the decades, if you want to go that far. Visit geisdoors.com for swift and reliable garage repair solutions. Great brands, in stock, ready for you. Made by CHI and LiftMaster and more. They've got doors for every budget and openers, and they even can go the custom design route for you. Whatever your needs, you call Geis. Visit geisdoors.com and don't think twice. Call Geis.
Is thinning hair or receding hairline making you feel self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlands.
As you age, you start noticing pain in your joints that didn't used to be there. But you don't have to live in pain. When joint pain becomes a reality, schedule your free pain evaluation with Rejuvenex. We'll find where your pain lives and inject powerful, FDA-approved medicines that reduce inflammation and pain, while improving mobility in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees, with some patients experiencing relief for greater than 2 years before repeating the process. While treatments like stem cells can cost close to $10,000 per joint, at Rejuvenex, the cost for your injection can be as low as $65, and almost all major insurance plans cover our treatments, so you may not have to pay anything at all. Call us now to schedule your free pain evaluation, because I'm pretty sure we can help you. This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, where we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
73-year high today, a little cooler near the lake tonight. Clear and comfortable, low in the 50s near the lake, down into the 40s inland. Tomorrow, little bump. Partly cloudy skies with a high of 80, breezy. It's currently 65 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:51.
So let's be honest. A lot of our content today has been heavy, and rightfully so, because we're thinking about all these families down south with the hurricane. And it's a moment where you think, okay, you're grateful for what you have right now. We're grateful to be here in Wisconsin, right? And we'd like to provide a little bit of levity as well. Let's give you a smile. Let's give you a moment to not think about all the bad stuff that's going on. And a Bravo television show is allowing us that moment. So here's the deal. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City taking on Milwaukee. I had never seen this show in my entire life, but last week, for us, I did it for us, Greg. I watched it.
You plunked yourself down. I'm glad somebody did it.
And a lot of people do. I mean, obviously, this is a hit show for a certain reason, right?
It's a major franchise. Admittedly, not in my wheelhouse, but there have been Real Housewives of insert city name here for well over a decade.
Crazy popular. I had never seen Salt Lake City before, and I haven't really seen the show in decades, but I watched it. And in case you missed it, let me just do a quick little rewind. It is full of Milwaukee. So they come to the Milwaukee, and I thought there'd be a couple quick clips of the Bucks game. Oh no, the whole show is based on Milwaukee, which is awesome. I mean, Bravo really putting Milwaukee in a good light. So here we go. The second episode, this is again all Milwaukee. It starts with current cityscape shots. It showed the new Welcome to Milwaukee sign by Discovery World that probably some people who live here haven't even seen yet. It's beautiful. It's an awesome welcome to the city. And then it transitions into the Laverne and Shirley theme song in the brewery tour. And two of the ladies are doing the whole thing, the whole bit, right? Well, then some of the ladies are going to go to the Miller Caves, which is so cool, right? But then there's some drama. So some of the other ladies decide we're not going to go to the caves. We're going to go curling instead. But did they make the right decision?
I don't really want to be around them today, so.
What are they up to?
I think they're going to like the beer caves.
Oh wow, that's
cool?
That's a big deal in Milwaukee.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah, it is. The Miller Caves, Greg. We love the Miller Caves here.
Well, it gives me vibes of Top Chef. And again, both Bravo television shows, right? They're on the same network. So there's likely an in with the production company. But it's got these, tourist spots. They're drinking beer. They're sampling different beers in the Miller Caves. They're eating cheese curds with it. They're going curling. They're doing Wisconsin things, going to Bucks games. It kind of has a little Top Chef vibe to it.
And I can't tell you how many times Milwaukee was seen and mentioned. It's just unbelievable. I mean, this is another big deal for Milwaukee, whether you want to laugh at the fact that the Housewives came here or not. It's a really big deal. You had the makeup artist who came in and she's like, how's it in Milwaukee? And the one woman was like, I love it here. Don't ask me who these ladies are or what their drama is. I don't know, but I was all in for the Milwaukee stuff. One woman was talking to her husband and he was like, how was the Bucks game? She's like, well, I didn't watch it play once I was in the suite because there was all this drama. But let me take you back one more time to the ladies at the Miller Caves who knew what they were doing and knew it was going to be cool, right? Well, one of them has never had beer until being here in Milwaukee.
So we have a handful of cheeses to pair, so everything on your plate is from Milwaukee. I hear one of you maybe hasn't had beer before.
I haven't.
So are you familiar with champagne, though?
Yes, I am.
Well, this is the champagne of beers.
Really?
So Miller...
What? She's never had beer before?
Yeah, she's snacking on a High Life. There you go. What a great introduction.
She is snacking on a High Life.
High Life, the champagne of beers.
What year is it? Don't get it.
Does Mary realize this is the champagne of beers? If we can swap out Miller High Life for her Dom Perignon 2003, think of the money she'll save. Raise a glass.
Yeah, raise a glass to Milwaukee, everybody.
I think it's delicious. What do you think, Mary?
I like it. I had no clue that there is like an upscale beer. It's regal.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Well, keep doing the heavy lifting for our show.
No, I'm out. Milwaukee was featured for 2 episodes, and I'm out now.
That's it? Right, they're not coming back? Maybe they'll come back.
Yeah, maybe they'll come back. But, yeah, I mean, Just an awesome job, Milwaukee being featured heavily once again. And it wasn't just the Miller Caves or the curling site, which, by the way, when they pulled up to that, it was like Ascension St. Mary's. And I was like, wait, they're going to the hospital? No, it was the Expo Center over there for curling, which I don't even know if a lot of people know about.
They went to Potawatomi. They hung out there. They're at the Bucks game, like I mentioned.
Yeah, and then Harley-Davidson Museum was heavily featured last night. There was some drama there. No tables flipped, but a chair pushed back onto the ground. And they got to meet Bill Davidson, who is just so charming. I love him. He showed them. He gave them a whole tour, so the ladies got to see Moto 1, that first motorcycle that was made. He told the history. It's pretty cool. Then they went to This Is It.
Good stuff.
And this is it, folks.
Well, that is it. 12:57 on WTMJ. The news is next, then spanning the state.
While you rest on the weekends, we work for you. Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. The latest in news.
The Brewers and the Bucks have been closely watching this Valley Sports parent company because fans want to know how they're going to continue to watch these games.
Entertainment.
Ryan Turek, Vice President of Feature Film Development for Blumhouse.
That movie really connected with audiences because it felt like it could happen to you.
And more every Sunday morning starting at 8 on WTMJ.
Hey, we know what weather is coming. Greg Matzik here. If your house needs a new defensive coat, I'm recommending Siding Unlimited, the best in the business when it comes to beautifying your home's exterior. So take a lap around. Windows, siding, roofing, doors, you name it. Everything in good shape? Well, if you got any questions or you're not sure if what you got is going to make it through the winter season, connect with Siding Unlimited. They will have solutions for you. In addition to the best products, they have the best installation crews you're going to find. In fact, they've got the awards to prove it at their showroom in Brookfield. Stop in, see those products on display. It's a very cool showroom just off Barker Road. As a matter of fact, it's in Brookfield, 665 Larry Court. You might even see Eric and Aaron Brown, the brothers who run Siding Unlimited. It's a family-run business. They just do it the right way. Great people, great installation teams, great products. Why would you go anywhere else? It's Siding Unlimited. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
Hi, it's Rose Gray from Fox World Travel, inviting you on an unforgettable 2025 European journey. Travel in style, embrace beauty, and create memories with new friends as you visit our favorite destinations, including Ireland, Italy, Germany, France, Switzerland, Poland,